So Akash is saying, I do not want to lead that life which is commonly called the good life, having a wife, having a kids, having a house, and die like that. He's saying, I want to do that is something that is really significant. I want to impact the society. I want to have a meaning in life. But he's saying whenever he mentions that to anybody, people say this is totally impractical. What to make of it? Akash, what is this world called practical? And many of us feel the same way. If I have been speaking to you, after a little while, when this seminar gets over and when you will get out, many of you will say, oh, a lot of things that were said were just impractical. Very impractical. And you are saying that you have heard of this word quite often, practical. That this is not practical. What is this thing called practical? The word practical, the tyranny of this word has suffocated so many young men like you, because you have been told that do only that which is practical. And what does this word practical means? Whenever I ask this to the frequent users of this word, can you please explain to me what does practical mean? They do not have a reply. At most, they give a very vague kind of an answer. They say, you know, that which everybody does, you know, that which is doable, you know. That which is doable. By whom? By us, you know. Yes, of course. Practical comes from practice. That which can be practiced, that which can be done is practical. Done by whom? By you. If you can do it, it is practical. Simple. And if you are so afraid that you cannot do it, if you think you are so weak that you cannot do it, then it is impractical. Those who keep on saying that such and such thing, such and such action, such and such way of living is impractical are only declaring that they are weak and impotent. You cannot do it. It is not impractical, just that you cannot practice it. This floor, this roof cannot be touched by you if you decide that your feet must always be planted on the ground. Then if somebody says standing on the ground, touch the ceiling, you will say it is impractical. Obviously it is impractical, because you have made up your mind that you won't leave that place. But if you are prepared and you say, all right, get me a chair or a table, I can stand on that, I can easily touch it, it becomes practical. Anything remains impractical only as long as your mind is frozen and rigid. Never say that the work is impractical. Just say, I am so weak, I cannot do it. But you will not say that. Those people who sing the songs of practicality, and they are all mostly aged and experienced people who say, you do not know the word, you are talking very theoretical, bookish stuff. Ask us. I am a practical man. Yes. And what does practical man mean? Nothing except that I am very afraid. I am very afraid. You could not do it. You could not do it because you limited yourself. You could not practice it because you did not understand. Because real practice comes only from understanding. When you have never gave attention to it, when you have never understood it, how can you practice it? But because you cannot practice it, you cannot call the work impractical. Just say, I do not know, I am an idiot. But they will not say, I am an idiot. They'll say that the work is impractical. You know, they'll read a book And they will not say, I did not understand the book. They will say, what is written is impractical. Is it impractical or are you an idiot? That's the question to ask, Akash. Ask them. Is it impractical or are you so afraid? Those who want to do, they go ahead and do. Others, they keep singing, it is impractical, it is impractical. Till man climbed the Everest, climbing Everest was impractical. But somebody wanted to and he did it. And there were so many in the valley down there who were saying impractical. Nobody can do this. Don't say impractical. Just say, I am weak. I don't know. But they will not say that because that will hurt their ego. Admitting that I cannot do it will hurt their ego. So they will say, this way of living is impractical. Next time, when you hear somebody use that word, impractical, know that you are talking to a weak man. And if you are talking to a weak man, then you know already that you need not listen to him. How high you fly does not depend on the sky. It depends on the power of your wings and the desire in your heart. Do not call the sky impractical. Look at your wings and look at your heart. That is what is important. Clear?
So from where the concept of calling comes? If calling, we know what is our calling, then there should not be any confusion, there should not be any fog.
Beta, we all know our calling. There is nobody who does not know our calling. Our problem is not that we do not know our calling. Our problem is that besides the calling, we know 20 other things.
One of your videos was shown in which it was told that if you are having confusion between two or more things, then this means that you don't want to pursue them, you want to pursue them semi or partially, not fully. Then if we are having a calling and 20 other things, then this means that we either do not want to pursue our calling also.
The confusion is never between pursuing calling and 20 other things because they are in different dimensions. Calling is not one particular work. But there is a difference between vocation and calling. The 20 other things that are filling up your mind are just vocations. मैं ये करूं कि वो करूं. Calling is not about working or doing. Calling is about being. Understand this. Take examples of vocations. Vocations could be about, do I want to pursue MTech? Do I want to pursue MS? Or MBA, or do I simply want to enter into the software field, or take up a core job, or sit at my father's shop? ठीक? Calling is, I want to live in adventure fearlessly. Now, this is not a shop. This is not an office. This is not an organization, a company. This is something on a different level, a different dimension. You can never say that my calling is to work with Microsoft. Innovation can be your calling, not Microsoft. Microsoft corresponds to vocation. There you will have lots of confusions. Calling is at a different level, it's a different thing. Calling will never be so specific. Calling will say, I want to express myself. Calling will say, I want to remove ignorance. Now, how to remove ignorance? There can be 1,000 ways. Go figure. Find out. Find out. You can make a movie. You can start an organization. You can become a teacher.
Then these are vocations.
These are vocations. These are vocations. The fog part of it, the first part of your question. Why are we confused? We are confused exactly because we ignore calling and our mind is full of 20 types of vocations. It's like this, understand. You walk into a restaurant. Why do you walk into a restaurant? Because you have been told that in the marketplace of the world, this restaurant is not to be missed. You have been constantly being told that when you go to that market, do not miss that restaurant. So you come to that market, and because you have been constantly told that the good life is about going to this restaurant, what do? You enter the restaurant. The moment you enter the restaurant, what are you given? A menu card. Now what does the menu card have? The names of all the delicacies that are there. Now you are wondering and trying to decide what to order, and you have 20 options in front of you. But there is one central question that you are not asking. What is that question? Am I hungry? That is the difference between vocation and calling. Vocation is about choosing the dish. Calling is about knowing your hunger. We are so occupied with choosing the dish that we do not know our hunger at all. Our mind is so full of menu cards that you have forgotten to ask a most basic question. What? What is my hunger? And that is not about asking what do you want to eat. It is not that specific question. It is just about what is my hunger? Not the question what do you want to eat. Getting it? Remove the menu card and then you will have space to come close to yourself and ask. That's what I'm saying. When the mind is full of 20 other things, then the calling cannot be heard. And that is what I also meant when I said that if you are unable to decide between 2 or 3 options, then remove all the 3. Do you need that menu card? Do you need all those options? Do you need them? First of all, what do you need?
Hunger.
You need to remove that card. You need to remove all the options and ask my hunger. So remove all the options and first of all ask yourself, what is my hunger? That hunger is the calling. Do not confuse these two. I'm glad you're asking this question. Calling is not about saying I want to become a manager. Calling is not about saying that I want to write a novel. No, all these are not examples of calling. Calling is something more abstract, more deeper, more intimate to your heart. That is calling.